Okay, I've got my machine here. I thought that I would do a short video on the things that I'm going to do kind of right away before I even start sewing with it. Now, um, let's talk about some of the places this thing has to have lubrication, and that as as I'm an electronics engineer, but I studied mechanical engineering before I changed over. But one of the things that bugs me is this metal on metal cam here. Now, on this other drive cam here, there is a ball bearing wheel on the other side. So when this cam rolls, it rolls against this metal here on with the ball bearing on it. But the one behind it has nothing on it. And I understand why because of the timing. But what I plan on doing is because, the nemesis of all mechanical engineering is steel on steel. You know that about this from any car engine. You have to have oil in your car engine because it's steel on steel. And without the oil, things get hot and burn. Now, before you start motorizing this thing, you have to think about stuff like this because when you're doing it on a hand crank, heat and scraping and friction are not a problem with hand cranking. You just automatically mentally make the adjustment. But when you motorize something, heat buildup in here is going to be really terrible. Now you can exacerbate that with a little grease and stuff like that. But what I plan on doing is what they tell you in mechanical engineering is that it's better to have a friction of metal, two metals. You have a softer metal against a harder metal. So you have steel here, then you want to have brass going up against it. And that's what I plan on doing. I plan on making a brass guard plate right here. And then not only will that quiet down the machine, but also help with resistance levels because the softer metal against the harder metal make less resistance. And speaking of resistance, I notice that a lot of people do modifications of their machines, but they miss one critical part. And that critical part that you should be worried about is the engine. And that's what this is. This is the engine of the whole thing. Now, inside of here, this cutout right here has not only does it have like rough edges and build up a grime and machinery grime and everything else inside of it, but it has like, I don't know if you can see that here, but there are places like this where there are like little nipples sticking out in the guide path. Now, what you want to do is you want to find those nipples. There's one right there. And you want to file them down. Now, it's going to take a good long time to do that. I mean, I sat here. I've been doing this for a couple of days now, and I still have not gotten all the nipples completely flat. Another thing I've done is all of this, all of the areas, the entire channel, I have a draw file and sanded the channel to make it as smooth and clean as possible. I don't know how polished this will get, but I'll give it a week's time. I'll sit and diddle with it here and there and polish it up. It will never look like mirror polish, but I will get in there with some hand polishing and filing and get everything going on that. I drilled some mounting holes here, extra mounting holes. And the reason for that is because there's also something that everyone misses. The hand wheel. The hand wheel on this. I mean, the leverage between this hole and here is just really ridiculously small. I mean, turning this with your hand is it's not enough. So what I did was I added I'm adding on a flywheel, and then this fly, this wheel will attach to the drive. Okay, the wheel will attach to the drive, and I tried this out, tested, and so if I put the handle right here, and I have a handle right here, then the distance between here is almost perfect. It gives you perfect control to roll around, and you don't feel any real resistance. This wheel is large enough that there's no real resistance when you're rolling it with your hand, and that's also something that I'm going to be doing. Well, that's the end of this video. But oh yeah, I wanted to show one other thing that people don't necessarily do. I don't think I can find that piece right away. Ah, here it is. This piece right here is on the back side here to hold in the shaft. And what I've done is I've flattened this out so that it fits right next up to there. And what I found is that this creates a lot more stability. You have to drill more holes and things of that sort. And it also makes it a lot thinner, because what I'll do is I'll drill this out and then put in a brass bushing here, because right now it's just metal on metal, and that's no good. So what we'll do is we'll drill this guy out to about 16 millimeters, put a 16 to 12 brass bushing in there, press fit it in there, and then put it back on and grease it up a little bit. I just wanted to show everybody that I do have this machine, and I will be doing some modifications to it, and I'll put it back together in a couple of days after I've done a couple more things here, and then after I put it back together, then I'll show it again, and then then finally learn how to thread the machine and maybe sew some leather with it.